Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The New Orleans Saints have announced several roster moves. Also, a report today from Nick Underhill that Saints are getting healthier, which I'll get to here in just a quick second. First, though, the news. This is official from the Saints. The team has formally announced the signing of wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling and also placed Paulson Adebo on IR. We knew that. The Saints have also signed safety Roderick Teamer and defensive back Shamar Jean-Charles to the practice squad, and they have terminated the practice squad contracts of safety Jonathan Abram and guard Chris Reed. So those are the roster moves today. Maybe a little surprising there with Jonathan Abram, but even going back through training camp this year, time and time again, man, Dennis Allen was pretty upfront about their lack of confidence in the safety spot opposite Tyrann Mathieu. And it was Abram, and it was Jordan Howden, and they brought in Will Harris, and then Will Harris got hurt. It's been a bit of a revolving door there, so maybe shouldn't be too terribly surprised. But even still, when it was a guy who a year ago was playing pretty well in the defensive backfield for you, a little surprising to see that. Now, all of that, I think, is certainly consequential. The defense has to play better. It's something we've talked plenty about. The offense has been injured, and I don't blame the struggles here in this 5-game losing streak. Even though the offense has struggled, I don't blame the offense entirely, especially the last 2 games where you've had Spencer Rattler and effectively a preseason offense. The bigger problem that I've had is what we've seen defensively, because that's been Dennis Allen's calling card. That's what we've talked about. Now, all that said, I'm not sure this team is digging out of a 2-5 hole. I don't believe they are. But what I am looking forward to is seeing if you are going to go with Spencer Rattler again this week, what would it look like if he actually had a complement of starters on the offense around him, as opposed to what we saw on Thursday Night Football, which was effectively a preseason offense. You were missing your 3 interior linemen. Obviously, there was no Derek Carr. There was no Taysom Hill. There was no Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave. I mean, it was a preseason game roster out there on Thursday Night Football in prime time on a short week. But Allen did say that if Derek Carr isn't available, they are going to stick with Rattler, and he said why.
The plan would be to stay with Spencer, and I think Spencer has done some good things. I mean, obviously, there's some rookie mistakes. Got to do a better job of protecting the football. That would be probably the biggest, thing that we have to do a better job of. But, I felt like, when you go back and you watch the tape and he's got protection, I thought he did a good job of throwing the football. I thought he created some things with his feet. He was accurate when he was outside the pocket. So I see a lot of really good things out of that player. We have to eliminate some of the negative plays, and I think if he can do that, then, I think, like I said, I think he's done some good things.
Nick Underhill reported that Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, Chris Olave, Lucas Patrick should all be back on the offense this week, and Pete Werner should be back defensively. Now, you can't tell me the reason the Saints have struggled defensively is because they didn't have Pete Werner. And I know Demario Davis went to bat when he was asked about the team's defensive effort, and he defended the defensive effort. Now, I just don't believe that. I believe he's giving great effort, but the missed tackle statistic doesn't lie. When you miss 15 tackles in a game, you go back-to-back games with double-digit missed tackles, guys didn't just forget how to tackle. The eyeball test showed you at the end of the Tampa, the end of the Denver game, when those games got out of hand, your defense gave up. But you get Pete Werner back, that's a boost. The bigger thing here for me this week against the Chargers is offensively. If you do, in fact, get Lucas Patrick and Cesar Ruiz back, now all of a sudden 4 of your 5 starters on the offensive line are back. You're still missing Eric McCoy, but I would assume Connor McGovern starts again at center. In theory, you could put Lucas Patrick there, but if Lucas Patrick was your starting left guard, put him back where he's comfortable and let McGovern start again at center. So again, follow me here. If you get Ruiz and Patrick back, 4 of your 5 starters on the offensive line return. You get your best wide receiver back in Chris Olave. You're still without Shaheed, but you get your best receiver in Chris Olave, and you've added Marquez Valdez-Scantling. In addition to the young guys, Bub Means, Mason Tipton, who've got some run. You get Taysom back, who, by the way, if you missed the conversation we had with James Hirsch yesterday, the answer he gave about Taysom Hill, please get that for me. I want to keep that handy. The answer he gave about Taysom Hill's value to this offense was eye-opening. And this is a guy who played for the last 4 years in New Orleans with Taysom Hill. But he came on this show and effectively said they are the offense is too reliant on Taysom. It wasn't like that a year ago, but this structure is set where they are asking him to do so much. I'm paraphrasing here. Where they're asking him to do so much, and when you remove Taysom Hill, it is so noticeable. And the Falcons game was the case in point. Saints look great the first half. Taysom Hill gets hurt, misses the second half. The offense fell apart. It was fascinating to hear from a guy who was on this team the last 4 years with Taysom Hill. So yes, you get Taysom Hill back. You're surrounding Spencer Rattler with better players, which is going to set him up for success. It's kind of the Brock Purdy question or predicament. I think Brock Purdy's a really good player, but he's also obviously a much better player on the best roster in the NFL, or certainly the best roster in the NFC right now. Yeah, no surprise. Take Brock Purdy, put him on the Panthers. I don't think Brock Purdy's getting the Carolina Panthers a Super Bowl. Take Patrick Mahomes, put him on the Panthers. May not be getting the Panthers to the Super Bowl, but they can win a whole lot more games than they are right now. See what I mean? You give Spencer Rattler a better chance for success, a more accurate look at what he can be in the NFL as a starting quarterback when you put starters around him. Look, the Chargers have the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. This is going to be a real significant challenge for the New Orleans Saints. And if there's something that favors them, Saints played Thursday, so they had 10 days. Chargers played on Monday Night Football, so short week. Chargers have to play in a short week. Saints are playing on a long week. That helps. It doesn't help going there with a rookie quarterback and your starter still not in there and all the injuries that you've had. But you're getting healthier, and it'll benefit you this week when you go out to LA. We'll see how they look. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.